Welcome to part 1 of this deep dive into Conquest, the last argument of kings. Conquest is a fast-paced miniature wargame where ranks of warriors line up for brutal combat and the hope of ruling the world of Ea. To learn more about this fascinating game's world, see the lore playlist I have in the description down below, or of course head to the website of the game's creators over at Para Bellum. In this video, we're going to cover the groundwork for how Conquest plays, using some TTS examples to give you a visualization of how the rules function, and illustrate the basics of the best rank and flank miniatures wargame on the market. If you are interested in this game, please consider using my affiliate link in the description down below to save yourself 10% on all your purchases. It saves you quite a bit of coin and goes a long way to supporting this channel, so thank you so much in advance. Conquest is played with a series of fantastic miniatures produced by Para Bellum. Some of these models are independent, like large creatures, while others are ranked together to form tight-knit regiments. Whatever square base that particular model or models are on is known as the stand, and as a stand suffers wounds, so too do the models on top of it. As those models are killed, simply remove them from the stand, and once the stand has no more models, it is removed as well. In Conquest, every stand has a type. There are infantry, make up the mainstay of most armies, cavalry, which can unleash brutal charges and move at incredible speeds. There's brutes, which are often these huge creatures that are far larger than your average human, and monsters, being the rarest of all, are just individual wrecking balls. No matter how many stands a regiment has, it will have a number of arcs to it, front, rear, and its side flanks. To determine if a unit has line of sight, the target must be within its front arc as depicted here. Keep in mind, throughout the game, you can use reform actions to change the configuration of your stands, thereby changing the size of each arc. Additionally, each regiment has a unique card associated with it known as their command card. At the beginning of each round, players assess which units they have active on the table and sort their command cards in the order they want those regiments to activate that round. This is an important part of Conquest, as you must choose the order of your regiment's activations. However, once that regiment's time comes to activate, you have freedom over what actions they carry out. When it is your turn to activate a regiment, flip the top card on your command deck and reveal which regiment will be activating. Some regiments have powerful abilities that trigger once their command card is revealed in this way, known as a draw event. That is, when their card is drawn from the command deck, this event triggers. Draw events are also an important part of the game and can provide a myriad of abilities and effects to your army, such as increasing their defense, letting you circumvent the order of activations, and more. Once any draw events are resolved, the regiment whose command card was drawn then gets to do 2 actions. In Conquest, there are 2 sets of actions that you can take depending on if you are in combat or out of combat. Out of combat actions are only available to you if you are not currently engaged with an enemy regiment. These include March, letting you move across the battlefield, staying out of base-to-base contact with enemy regiments. A Charge, which is a movement that allows you to enter into melee combat and provides a bonus on your next attack action. Rally, an action used to restore the morale of broken units. Reform, an action used to pivot in place as well as restructure your stands into new configurations. Take Aim, adds a bonus to this regiment's next missile attack this round. And Volley, which is the act of simply making a ranged attack, often with bows, for example. The other kinds of actions are in-combat actions, so these are available to you if you activate your regiment and they are currently engaged with an enemy regiment. These actions include Clash, which is how you initiate a melee combat, Inspire, which is a bonus that applies to the next melee attack that regiment makes this round, the Combat Rally, which is similar to a normal rally, but it's a little bit different when it's in melee, and Withdraw, which is how you can disengage from enemy units and fall back. Lastly, in this video, we need to talk about the game round. Each round is structured the same way and broken into phases. The reinforcement phase, where units enter the battlefield. Command phase, where your command cards are put into order now that you know who is on the table. The supremacy phase, where powerful leader abilities are used. The action phase. You and your opponent take turns flipping your command cards and activating your units. And of course, this will take up the bulk of any turn. And lastly is the victory phase, where players assess the victory conditions of their particular mission and determine if the game continues. Once the victory phase is complete and the game is not over, you go back to the reinforcement phase, having completed one game round. So let's run through a typical turn, keeping in mind that the complete structure of the game round will be explained more in future videos, along with how combat actually works. In this example, we start off in the reinforcement phase. Now I don't have any reinforcements at this exact moment, we'll discuss those in future videos. Then there is the command phase, where I put the units that I want to activate into their order and form a command deck. When it is my turn to activate a unit, I flip the top card of my command deck and resolve any draw events. In this case, the Hold Rake has given the ability called Bastion onto a nearby unit, providing them with a defense bonus. The other actions that are unique to heroes will be explained in a later video. Then, my opponent takes their turn to activate a regiment. They flip their top command card, and now that regiment activates. And we go back and forth like this until all of the command cards have been drawn, flipped, and all of the draw events resolved. Once this is complete, we will then move into the victory phase to see who is actually winning the game and how many turns are remaining. Keep an eye out for more tutorial videos, and in the next one, we're going to explore how regiment stats appear, how combat functions, as well as how dice rolling and modifiers work in Conquest. If you have any questions regarding these core concepts of the game and what makes it unique, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer you there. Thank you so much for watching, and happy wargaming.